Good morning. I'm meteorologist Shane Hinton with your June 18th morning tropical update. This is the latest on potential tropical cyclone 1 as of 7 o'clock this morning from the National Hurricane Center. It's basically a long drawn out title, meaning a system that is expected to become a tropical storm. It's just not organized enough yet, but we are expecting it to become more organized either later this morning or into the afternoon. If it does become a tropical storm as expected, well, then it will be Tropical Storm Alberto and our first of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. Here's the latest forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. You see as it is expected to intensify to tropical storm status later today and then make a pivot out to the north and west before eventually making landfall in parts of Mexico late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Now, just as a refresher on what the forecast cone means, don't get married to the idea that where the icon is located is where this storm will go, okay? The cone means the center of the system can be anywhere within the cone or on these outer lines on the edge of the cone itself. Now, even though the center of the cone, the edges of the cone do not include Texas, does not mean that we won't feel impacts here in Texas. In fact, we could see some impacts for some areas as early as later today. A tropical storm warning extended for the South Texas coastline and extended closer up to almost the Houston area through Thursday morning. Locally, we only have 2 watches in effect, or 1 watch for 2 counties, I guess I should say, impacting Caldwell and Fayette counties starting Wednesday morning and going through Thursday afternoon. However, if you zoom out even further, you'll notice that that watch does include South Texas and extending all the way past Houston to the east. Their flood watch actually starts a little bit later today as their rainfall will arrive before our rainfall arrives. We could see some isolated showers today. Those are not going to be associated with the tropical system. Taking you through the future track, as I mentioned, we should see a tropical storm Alberto announcement later today at some point once it gets more organized. We'll see the heavier rain start in South Texas and portions of the Texas coastline. By Wednesday morning, that's when we expect activity in the coastal plains to start picking up for us here in central Texas, and then it will grow more widespread throughout the later morning hours, into the early afternoon, and then through the evening. I think our heaviest rainfall will actually happen around Wednesday afternoon. We'll take a closer look at that in just a moment, but showing you that landfall possibly late Wednesday night into early Thursday, and then pushing out to northwest Mexico as it then takes its rain chances for us along with it. Now let's take a closer look at what we can expect here back at home. Isolated activity for your Tuesday. As I mentioned, this rain is not associated with the tropical system, but I just want you to be aware of it. We got a 20% chance for some storms along and east of I-35 throughout your Tuesday. As we go into Tuesday night, some isolated showers that will be growing more scattered in nature. This is 7 o'clock Wednesday morning. Coastal plain showers growing more widespread as we go toward the midday and early afternoon hours. And then you can see that widespread rain as we head into your evening commute back home. I want you to go ahead and expect this weather to impact your evening commute back home tomorrow. The main concern will be flooding, but we can't rule out an isolated spin-up tornado, as those are very common in the outside feeder bands of tropical systems. And that's exactly where we'll be located, on the outer edge of this system. Now keep in mind, the rain is expected to continue through the overnight hours and through the first half of Thursday. We could see those rain chances start to taper off by Thursday afternoon. Rainfall projections have started to lower. Now, what this means is that the forecast models see that tropical development a little bit further to the south of South Texas from what we've initially forecast. As that happens, you'll notice our northern counties see lower rainfall projections. Now it's ranging anywhere from maybe a ½ an inch to an inch and a half for areas north of Austin. South of Austin, anywhere from 1 to over 4 inches possible. That's why we have our highest flooding concern in the coastal plains and for our southern counties. Highest rainfall totals will naturally be in South Texas, along the Texas coastline, and certainly in Mexico, where the central portion of the system and the heavier rainfall closer to the core and those outer bands will be impacting more. We're talking 5 to 10 inches, maybe isolated higher totals for those locations. If we're talking about winds, we're not really concerned about them here in central Texas. We could see gusts around 30 to 35 miles per hour, but our main concern will be flooding. The flood risk for Wednesday is still highlighting areas south of Travis County with that level 3 out of 4 moderate flood risk. Most of the viewing area falls in that yellow shaded area, indicating a 2 out of 4 risk. By Thursday, it lowers down to a marginal risk, and by Friday, our flood threat is out of here. That's not the only thing we're tracking in the tropics. Take a look at this. We have that area that's well off the southeast coastline of the United States. Still has a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days. However, you'll find something very interesting about the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. The potential tropical cyclone that we're currently monitoring is not the only area of possible tropical development. In fact, the National Hurricane Center this morning noticed another area of possible development that could occur over the next 7 days. Now, right now it is on the lower end, only a 20% chance, but it bears watching because this could be another area of development in the same area that just churned out the one that we're monitoring right now. Now, we have not officially got Alberto on the table just yet, so that's going to be the first name we get through. The next names on the list will be Beryl and Chris. As always, we will continue to track the tropics for you here in the KVUE Weather Center, and we'll provide updates on air and online.